Hello everyone, George AJ here. Right, so I've decided to set up a Patreon to help other bedroom producers like myself achieve a professional sound. So the genres of music that I'll be focused on in these videos will be minimal deep tech house, and piano house styles. So I'll basically be going through all of the tips and tricks that have helped me along the way, because a little bit about myself, I started DJing in 2017. Literally knew nothing about music before then, like I didn't even know how to count music, had no idea, and I had my first gig in 2019. I played in Egg in London, which is obviously a highly respectable, well-established venue. I've hosted weekly radio shows, and I've done like a litany of other events and parties throughout the years. But my Ableton journey started in 2019. Again, knew nothing about Ableton, and I've just kind of, been working my way through it. So I thought, like I said, I'd just start making videos to help other bedroom producers how to achieve a professional sound. And I just want to sort of share what tips has helped me. So the first video that I'll be making today is we're just going to start from the bottom, is the template that I use. So by the way, just quickly, these videos are intended for people with an intermediary skill set into Ableton, so people who know the interface of Ableton, know the basics of Ableton, but just need that little bit of help sort of achieving that professional sound. So that's why I'm here. Like I said, this first video is showing my template. Now, my template and how it's structured is I literally just have the kick, and I have an open hat set up and a clap set up. So I've literally just got an 8-bar loop set up with my kick, literally just the kick drum and a spectrum on it, and then I've just grouped up my drums, and I've just placed a drum rack. And as you can see, I've got the samples from Mars, which are great samples. We're highly recommended to get these samples if you can. And literally just with an EQ, some sidechain kickstart, and a saturator on it. Every time I open up a new MIDI channel, it opens up with a saturator, an EQ8 and a kickstart. So just to make my life a little bit easier. Now, if you don't know how to do that, I'll just do it for you. I'll just show you how to do it. So just cut all these off. So just to open up actually no, I need to save a new MIDI channel. Right, so open up a new MIDI channel, and you can see there's nothing on there now. If I just put a saturator on there, you can close it down just by double clicking it. An EQ8, and then kickstart, or you can use Ableton's stock plugin compressor. I like to use kickstart just because it's just easier. It's definitely a plugin I would recommend. It doesn't cost a lot, only like £15. So if you can afford it, please buy it. But if not, just literally the Ableton compressor, and obviously the sidechain function is just here. So just going back to the MIDI channel. So now I've got my MIDI channel there. I've got my plugins that I want on each channel. This is just really a workflow hack. It just makes my life a lot easier. Then if you just right click on the MIDI channel and then if you here at the bottom it just says save as default MIDI channel. So if you just, and then it will ask you if you want to overwrite it, you just click yes. And then every time a new MIDI channel will be bought, so return channel, every time a MIDI channel will be bought on, it will have those plugins ready. It just saves you a bit of time having to constantly drag EQs and side chaining and saturators onto the channel. You also can do the same with audio tracks as well. You can see I've already got mine set up. Again, it's just at the bottom. So yes, that's basically it for my instruments. So just a kick, an open hat, and a clap. Now I have also got as you can see, a reference track set up. I'll save that for another video, because you have to like tweak some settings on Ableton to get it properly set up. Alright, so the other thing that I've got on my template is I've got a room reverb set up. Now Ableton does have its own room reverbs, so you could just drag in the Ableton one. Here it is, a room reverb, big room, like any of the drums reverb. Just have to drag this one on. Okay, I do highly recommend setting up I use it on every single track. I just have it automatic. I'm basically using the Valhalla room. The Valhalla reverbs, if you can afford them, are really great plugins to get. I think the reverb on it just sounds excellent, and you will see a lot of people using these. So if you can, but if not, it's okay. It doesn't matter. You can just use, Ableton stock reverb is really great. So I just have this automatically set up with an EQ, just taking off the low end at about 288 hertz. Just taking out that low end and a little bit of the highs as well. And then just a kickstart, just side chaining it to the kick, because you want this element to be side chained to your kick. So yeah, and then what I do is on my group I set up it's already set to -10 dB. All right, just so it gives like, if I just play it. Like it's already there, it's already set up. It's just, I just think it really makes a hell of a difference. It just glues the whole track together. So I do recommend putting that. It has really changed my mixes and made my mixes sound a lot more gelled together. And yeah, I basically don't make any tracks. It's never, I don't never have it on there anymore. So that's my reverb. The next thing I have is just a delay. This is just a Sound Toys Junior, Echo Boy Junior, sorry. And this is just it's just more than like an effects really. So like if I make some like nice piano-y chords, I can just, or some nice lead sound or something, I can just put this delay on there straight away, and it will just it instantly gives you those kind of dance vibes straight away. It just sounds really nice. So I just always have a delay on there. Again, you could just use Ableton's delay. That I do, another plugin I do recommend, if you can afford it, is the Sound Toys. This is just the effect rack. I think it's like £150. But if you, it's more than that. But if you buy it on Black Friday, it's about £150 for the effect, and you get like all these effects. So, but if not, Ableton stock plugins are excellent. I still use them for various different things. So I kind of go through phases. Sometimes I'll use the Ableton reverb for a bit. Sometimes I'll try a different reverb. If I can get my hands on it. But please don't think you can't make professional music if you don't have any. You can make literally some of the best songs have been written just with, you know, Ableton's stock plugins. So it's, you know, don't let that put you off. So they're the only two return tracks I have. If you want to know how to make a return track, it's just here. Just insert, right click, insert return track. There you go, and then you can just put whatever you want onto it. Now, this is the main sort of. I've got a few plugins on here and things I want to show you. So first thing I do is I have on my master chain I have this utility with 6 decibels of headroom. So the reason why I do this is because when I'm making my track, you just look at the if you just look at the master channel, you can see it's coming in at, you know, pretty much bang on 6 dB. But as I start adding instruments, these levels starts coming up to 0 and starts getting hotter and hotter. So if I have this 6 dB of headroom on it, if any of my channels are going into the red, if my mix is starting to go into the red, then I can turn the whole mix down. Then once I've made my track, I basically just take it off, and I'll have, if it's sort of like peaking near 0, then as soon as I take it off, it's literally it's down to -6. It'll be peaking just below -6, and I'll know that not my whole mix, none of it's peaking, none of it's going into the red. So when I send it up to a master, and I'll master it myself, then I know I've got plenty of headroom to master with, and obviously a lot of mastering engineers will want a good amount of headroom. There is a bit of debate on how much headroom to leave, or to leave any at all, but I will leave that for another video. But that's just what I do. None of these tips, by the way, are stuff that you have to do. It's just stuff that's helped me and how my mix is to get better and better. So I'm only making these videos because I'm just sharing what's helped me. Okay, the next plugin that I have on my master channel is the mono switch. Now, as you can see here, I've actually got a shortcut on my keyboard. I've set it up, so I'll just show you how to do this, because this is like a really good tip. So I put from a utility, and then what you want to do is, when you're playing your mix, you want to be able to quickly switch just to see if it's compatible in mono. You definitely want to make sure that your mix is compatible in mono, because a lot of club systems and like your phones and stuff like that will just be in mono. Okay, so you want to be able to just quickly switch between mono and stereo. Now, how you do that is, if you just right click, like here for example, in the on-off switch, you can edit the key map, and then if you just assign it to one of the buttons on your keyboard, so I'll just put it down as B. You'll see here on the left as well, it's showing you like what is mapped to what, so you can see I've mapped stuff to I and N and R and S. And then if you just right click it again, that's it, right click, and then edit key map again. Now if I press B, there you go. Oh wait, sorry, hang on one sec. And then obviously you'll just have to do that, okay? So just make sure, there's 2 ways of doing it really. So you can either map the key itself, the mono key, so let's just say I map that to B, and then, or you can just have the on-off switch. So you can either just map the mono switch, or you could just map but make sure if you do map this switch that the mono is just stayed on like that. See what I mean? So you basically just, then it's just quick. So when you're mixing your track, you can just use your keyboard shortcut rather than having to constantly go down to the master channel. And because all these things are like workflow hacks. So it'll just enable you to make your tracks. You'll be so much faster at making tracks. You don't have to worry about constantly, like these templates are set up so you can just go and start making music straight away rather than having to do all this kind of boring, setting up, the key mapping and stuff like that. So the next plugin that I have on my template is, I've got a sides utility. Again, this is just mapped to, you can see once it's on and off alert that it's just got the side set up. So this one is mapped to S. It's not. One sec, hang on. Okay, so I'll tell you what's happened there. So sometimes, just FYI, if sometimes the key mapping, like you're pressing the what letter you've mapped the function to on your key, if it doesn't work, sometimes it's because like if you press M, the piano icon in the top right corner will be highlighted, and that's because if you want to play like the piano or an instrument in on your keyboard, you can do so. You can use the letters on your keyboard to basically play notes and make a rhythm. But so just check out if that icon is highlighted or not, and then if it is, just press M, and it basically means that now when I press S, it's all working. Okay, so just watch out for that. So with this one, I've just got it mapped to S, and it's sides only, so it will literally just be given the sides of my track. So if I want to start mixing and stuff like that, I have a quick button that can do that for me. All right. The next, I've just got an EQ. Now this EQ is just rolling off the low end, but of the side. So it's only so everything below 120 hertz. There's no side information. It's just mono. I can show you how to do that. So just put an EQ. Just select it to mid side, and then on edit, just hit that button and it will change it to sides, and then just roll off everything, let's say below, I don't know, 120 hertz for example, because in a club you don't need anything below 120 hertz in you just need it in mono. So yeah, I just always leave it on there because I always do it. So so that's one of my EQs. Another EQ that I tend to put on is just an EQ rolling off the extreme low ends. Is the extreme low ends, anything below like 30 hertz, it just won't be heard. Like you can't even you can't even hear it. It's not even audible. And there you go. You can start. You can hear that a little bit, but yeah, can't even hear anything below like 30 hertz. So that just gives you like it'll give you some more headroom, so you can make your master a little bit, that little push it just a little bit louder. Again, I'll just roll off the extreme highs. Again, everything sort of, hear that a little bit, can't hear that at all, so I just roll it off, and and it just gives me that little bit more headroom. Oh, hang on. There you go. It just gives me that little bit more headroom. So I just tend to leave an EQ on there, just getting rid of the extreme lows and extreme highs. Another thing that I have on is just a limiter. Now this limiter is basically, it's not the limiter that I use for if I master the track myself. It is a limiter that's, you can use absolutely fine now. It's a good limiter. It's just I prefer to use an external like the FabFill L2. That's my go-to limiter. You'll see a lot of people using that. But I just use this one just to make my mix like. Basically, I just use it to test my mix at a high level. And I've just set it up for a keyboard function as well. So just using L, I just switch it on and off. And I won't do it because it'll probably destroy your eardrums, but I might bring it. You can see here the lufs is like -23. I might bring this up to like -10. So put the dB up here to like -10, not -10. Sorry, put it up to maybe like 13 dB, just to so my lufs is at -10, so that when I use my keyboard shortcut, I can hear it when it's loud. Like, so I roughly know how the mix is going to be when it's like near kind of, you know, other tracks at what level they are, like when, if they're being played out, say they've been mastered. So I just like I said, I just set that to L so I can quickly, and then I can get a feel for how it's going to be when it's loud. When I'm mixing my tracks, so I find that just helps. The next thing that I've got on my channel is Isolate. Now this is a really great plugin. I can't even remember who makes it, but if you just type in Isolate for our Isolate plugin, just there you can see it'll come up. This is actually a free plugin, and I just use this. I put this on every channel, and I just use it. So when I have a reference track on in the project, and I'm comparing my track to theirs, it's got all these different bands on it. So you've got the high frequencies, and you can see on span it's just giving me the high frequencies. So if I've got another track, if I've got the reference track, I could start comparing each band to theirs, to the reference, and I find this really, I do highly recommend this plugin. I find it really, really good for getting my mix, you know, so you know, in an ideal world, we should all be able to just use our ears to make an amazing mix, but you know, I haven't been making music for a really long time, and my ears are getting better, but I can't trust them fully. So I like to have a visual about what ballpark I should be in. So I use Isolate to help isolate the different bands, and so I can see like roughly where those frequencies, how loud they should be. And there is other functions. There's obviously the left function and the right function, which just gives you obviously the left and right of the stereo image, and then there's mono as well, and there's just the sides as well. So yeah, I do highly recommend this plugin. I think it's brilliant. Again, it's free as well. So next one I have is Span. This is a great plugin, Voxendo Span. I do recommend this plugin. I will do a separate video on what plugins I do recommend, because you don't need to spend. You don't really need to spend that much, like hardly any money on plugins. There obviously is, you know, expensive ones you can buy, but you can, you know, a lot of the plugins, there are free emulations of it, and some really great sounds that you can get for free as well. So, you know, you will see, you know, there are some that we recommend that are bought, like the Sound Toys one, that are really good. But yeah, certainly you can get a lot for free. So, but this Voxendio Span is another free plugin, and I use this literally on every single mix. So please get this plugin. It's probably literally my most used plugin. You'll see a lot of people using this plugin. Everyone recommends it. Just get it. I'll do a separate video on this because I have set it up in a certain way so that you can compare the reference track to this track, and it's basically the reference track and my track layered on top of each other on the spectrum here. But yeah, please get this plugin. And then I do have mixed in key on my channels. To be honest, you don't really need to get. It is a good plugin. It helps detect what key the track is in. I don't really use it an awful lot, to be honest. Probably even take it off the template. You don't really need it. But it is a nice plugin if you want to know. If you're looking at samples and you want to know what key it's in, then it can help you with that. But a span can help you find out the key as well. So honestly, have a look at it, have a look at some reviews on it, but don't feel like you have to get it. You certainly don't need it to make great tracks. The other plugin that I have here is the Ulian Loudness Meter. Now this is another free plugin. As you can see from the interface, it shows you your short-term LUFS. This is the one we want to be looking at, the integrated LU. As you can see, mine at the moment is the Marcus 24.4, but it does give you other. It shows you your loudness range, your real-time dynamics, stuff like that. But yeah, I highly recommend this plugin, as it's, I found it to be the most accurate loudness meter. Really great. And then the final plugin that I have on this mix, on my template, is SonarWorks. Now this is just a plugin that, basically what it does is it puts like an EQ onto your. So as you can see, I've got mine set up for my Audio Technica, and it just applies an EQ which will just balance out kind of the frequency. So you're not getting for example, you're not getting a boost at 100 hertz or a boost in the highs, and so therefore your headphones are as accurate as they can be, and you get the flattest line possible. Again, you probably don't need it actually on there. It's more handy if you've got your speakers, and I don't know how you'll make. I make my tracks purely in headphones, purely because I don't have a lot of space. I don't have a lot of space for speakers and stuff like that. So, and I can't set up my speakers to make the perfect triangle and acoustically treat my room. So if you have got an acoustically treated room, if you have got a good space and you've got some speakers, many of you probably will have, then yeah, SoundWorks is a really good plugin. But you can get like a really well treated room, and you could get away with not having it at all. Again, I can do a separate video covering this, but it's not something that's essential. So yeah, just thought I'd do this first video showing you my template. And any questions, guys, just let me know. You can just DM me. My Instagram page is on the Patreon, so just let me know. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.